Welcome to Sri Lankan Geek Show. I am Isuru.
I am Sumudu.
Oh, Sumudu, I thought I lost you.
No, I thought you will pass down to me, so yeah.
Okay. So actually, both of us represent IT industry, and I don't think listeners would like to know about our private life. So let's keep it simple. I am Misuru, and Sumudu is with me.
I'm Sumudu.
So yeah, both of us represent IT industry, and both of us are software engineers. And I think we have some similarities. Sumudu is also a techie person as me, and we have some age gap. So I will let you know.
Yeah.
I will let you decide who's old and who's younger. That's a secret for now. Yeah. So Sumudu, so since we both represent IT industry, so let's start our show discussing about the IT industry in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, yes. So, talking about the IT industry, what we will mainly focus is on today on what are the degrees that are provided and how a person can get into this industry and be like us. So actually, be better than us. So we have curated a set of outlines to be talked today. So first we will start with the IT industry in Sri Lanka and what are the universities that provide the opportunity for a person to get into this industry. So we'll just talk about it. Yes. So
yeah. So Sumudu, I think compared to 7 to 8 years back, now today per year, I think there are lot of people graduates from IT as IT degree holders from different universities. I think few years back there were only very few government universities that they give IT degree and like even the A level, after A levels, there are few people who select the IT degree.
Yeah.
But the situation is totally different now.
yeah.
Most people are very interesting to select IT degree.
Most of are interesting, and also IT has become the last resort for most of them as well. So I know a few relatives who wanted to be doctors and who wanted to be other sorts of engineers who ended up being a software engineer because that's the last resort they had. So there are both sides. So the enthusiastic people and also the people who had to choose this because they had no any other options. Yeah, we'll continue this talk. So yeah, Isuru, you can go ahead. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think you brought up a good point. That do you think that is it better to select IT if there are if someone doesn't have any other option? What do you think about it?
Yeah, that depends. So what most people think is this industry is very straightforward. Anyone can do this by just watching a YouTube video and earn a bang for the buck. So like they can earn a considerable amount of money easily. So that's the main perspective that most of Sri Lankans have. Yeah, but the part of it is true, but not all. So we have to work hard in order to make a proper place in this industry. So yeah, selecting IT as the last resort is good, but it depends. So
yeah, always there's a pros and cons.
Yeah.
So I think the situation now in Sri Lanka is different. Now, if we compare the same situation a few years back, I think if you don't have any other choice, if you select IT, you will have a job.
Yeah,
because there are tons of IT jobs and there are very minimum number of degree holders at that point. But today there are a lot of competition, and even there are a lot of universities as well, SLIIT, IIT, NSBM. There are tons of private universities, and there are thousands of degree holders coming each year.
Yeah.
And definitely there will be a competition. And so now in 2022, I don't think last option should be IT. It should be
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah. So along with the degree holder increasing, I think more opportunities have also been opened to IT industry. So when compared to, I think what you're comparing is for 2005 or somewhat. So at that time, I don't think this much of companies were willing to hire people in the IT industry. So now there are like, so all the companies in Sri Lanka are somehow connected to an IT perspective. So every company has an IT side. So they want people to work on them. I think the demand manage that balance is maintained. So I'm not exactly agreeing to what you are saying. So yes,
True.
the IT should not be a last resort, but I think there are opportunities to cater the people who are getting out from IT related degrees. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So you said correct. Like even the number of companies, especially software companies, is now like the number of companies are improving. Like even if the virtues are so. Few years back there were only thousands of like 1,000 to 1,500 employees at that time.
Yeah.
But today I think they have more than 6,000 employees. In that means like they have increased the scope, and they have increased the scope of getting the projects, and the like we have now as Sri Lankan IT industry, I think they have increased the scope of the IT field. Yes, definitely. Okay.
so I think
So-
the comment that I made moved us away from the topic. So let's get back to
Yeah, exactly.
what we initially
But-
planned on. Yeah.
But it's good. Yeah, but it's good, Sumudhu. But I think we should cover that as
Yeah.
well. So coming back to the topic. So yeah. So now we discussed like there are thousands of IT degree holders per year. So do you have any idea about? Are you recommending like, and do you think if what kind of skill set or what kind of student should follow IT?
So based on my experience, so initially at school age, I liked the subjects maths and computer. So my parents were telling me that you should be some sort of an engineer at some point in my life. So, and also my parents thought that I would have skills related to problem solving. So the major key skill that we need in IT industry is the problem solving skill. So we should be able to solve some sort of a given problem in the most optimized and efficient way. So if you have that basic problem solving skill, I think you should be able to survive in this industry. And also, I'm not saying that you need to have that problem solving mindset and reasoning mindset. So the IT industry is a very diverse industry. So there are different types of jobs. So you can be skilled at designing or creating something that is appealing to a person visually. So such person can be a UI UX designer. So there are like tons of opportunities for people with diverse sets of skills. So because of that, we can't like clearly point out the main skill set that is required. So what I would say based on my experience is that we should be open and we should be able to solve problems, and also we should be able to communicate with each other. So such soft skills are also needed in the IT industry. So that's what comes to my mind at this moment. So what are your experience on this?
Yeah, exactly. I think you said correct. I mean, when your parents identified that you has a problem solving skills. I would like to add something for that. So in my career, there are very few people that I have met, and I would like to say they have a very good analytical skills. So Sumudu, you are one of that person. So I would really admire that, and I was I am very honored to have you in my IT career and working with you.
I think this gives away the mystery that we said about the age. Now people will know.
Yeah, exactly. I am older. Okay, so I would like to add one thing for the characteristics that we should accept. Like the people, I think for the IT people should have a discipline. So discipline in the sense, I don't expect cutting hair properly and wearing casual dress. I'm not meaning
Physical
that discipline.
discipline. You mean?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean the discipline is you have to be consistent. There should be a consistency. So if you are willing to learn something, if you are doing something, you have to keep the consistency. You have to learn it every day. You have to master it every day. You have to, like, because IT industry, you can't you will never finish learning. Every day there's something you have to learn. So I think that discipline should be there for every people who are willing to come to IT industry and who would love to enter to the IT industry. Otherwise I think you will get lost in the middle of your career otherwise. So I have some experience. There are few relatives that I know, also some of my friends, they start IT degree, and they have completed the IT degree as well. But when they are entering to the software companies and doing their jobs, they can't keep up the work. They don't have that capability. Like they after several months, after 1 year, they will fed up what they are doing. So they wanted to switch something else. I know some of my friends moved to government jobs and went to teaching. Totally different.
I think this
Totally different jobs.
discipline not only applies to the IT industry. I think if you want to get better at something, you need to be consistent. I think that's a golden rule.
Yes. So exactly. Yeah. But in IT industry, they are always new every day.
To
That's
survive,
what,
we need to be consistent, basically.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So
Adding to that, so I also wanted to highlight the skill of being a great team player. So actually, now most of the companies are using Scrum teams, and we do not work alone in one product. So actually, we tend to group with several people and work. And in that, we need to be able to identify each person's abilities and each person's drawbacks, and also we have to sometimes tolerate other people and should be able to work with them so that we can bring out what we all can put to the product. So if you are a key team player, I think you will also be able to survive in the IT industry. So if you are good with other people, they will help you and they will guide you. They will not let you down. So I think being a team player and having good communication skills is also key in to survive in the IT industry. I think you also agree on that.
yes, exactly. Exactly. So like you said, being a team player is one of the best thing that any employee can have, because most of the employees are normally in a company, if they doesn't have team like team skills, like good communication skills, they are left alone, and they will sick of their work every day. So we have to help each other at every possible way.
And I also wanted to ask upon your experience. So, in the early days, was it like this? So, did the IT industry practice any Scrum rules, and did you all work in teams like what we used to do now, or did you all mainly like had one person was working on one project and another person was working on another, and they never like no need to play as a team? So, was it like that, or is it similar to what we have now?
It's a very hard question to answer. I'll tell you why it's hard. Because the process and the way we work in a project totally depend on the company. So I have worked several companies. So some companies, they doesn't have any process. One person comes to your table and give you, we need to do something like this, and even the requirement is not fixed. Like they want I want something like this. The client wants something like this. It should be like this, this then that. Like, and you have to think what is that, this and that, and you have to develop.
So
and
that means such companies exist today as well. So it doesn't depend on the time. So it's based on the company structure, simply.
Yes, and some companies, they have a proper process. So I don't say it's agile process, but there is some process. So there one people have one responsibility, or one or two. So like I don't say it's completely agile, but they have something working process. But nowadays there are a lot of project management tools, software tools that could ease up and to manage these software projects. So I think due to that reason, most of the companies tries to follow the same process. But back in the time, the process is totally different to each other, like in each company, and it depends on the CEO of the company actually.
So basically, because with the help of the newly developed project management tools, most of the companies, even startups, have been able to adapt to a more structured way. So that I think it is of both the management as well as the developers side. So yeah, I think the comment that I made also again deviated from our main outline. So let's just stick back to it. And based on your experience, so the main problem that I had when I was first starting to look into an industry job was what job is suitable for me. So I didn't have any clue. So actually what we learned in first year and second year was mainly programming, object-oriented concepts and such like basics. So we are not taught about the different types of jobs that we have in the IT industry and what they are doing. So we were like looking at that as a black box. So we didn't have any idea of what we will be facing in the IT industry. So actually, did you have any such idea like one day I should be a back-end engineer, something like that, or you just simply tried out your luck? I think I just simply did that because in second years I wanted to be some sort of a front-end developer. I was more tended towards mobile application development actually. But when I went to the industry, I got opportunities in the back-end, and now I have mainly in the back-end side. So what was your experience? So this is actually this question is related to the next topic that we wanted to talk about the opportunities that are available in the IT industry. So what was your experience on that, like?
Yeah. So actually, this when you asking the question, you said it was a black box.
Yeah, we didn't have any
Uh,
clue.
yeah. When you are coming to the IT industry, you don't have a clue.
Yeah.
I think this black box should be a white box when you're selecting the degree program, because now when you select now, not like previous back, now the IT degree also segregated to different jobs.
Yeah. They are more specialized towards
Some-
different jobs. Yeah. No.
Yes, exactly. Some are based on business, like project management and business. Some are based on business analyst, and some are for software engineers.
Yeah.
So I think after A levels, you should, if you are entering to the IT industry, you should have a proper knowledge of the job roles in a software company or the IT industry. So no, mainly most of the software companies have basic set of job opportunities or job roles. So there are developers, software engineers, QA engineers, business analysts, project managers.
So
Those, yeah.
So based on your comment, so you knew what you were getting into when you were starting the degree, is it? Like you knew that you won't be a back-end specialized related to engineer, or
No.
yeah, the problem is now, even though the degrees are specialized, like if you want to be a BA, we need to focus on some sort of management related. There are, I think, in IIT we have BIS, Business Information System or something. So we want to like focus on that, but still the domain software engineer is at an abstract level, so it has multiple categories. So just doing a software engineering degree doesn't like give us an insight whether we'll be doing a front end job or whether we'll be working in an iOS degree related job. So I think actually still that opportunity will be based on actually our luck and the job that we get at the first place. I think. What's your idea on it? Is it like that?
Yeah. So 50 to 60% you are correct. But how do I say? Okay. Actually, there is a separate topic that we need to discuss about the internships.
Yeah.
So I think most of the time the internships resolve most of the questions that you have already asked.
So
I'll tell.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah, I'll tell you my experience on what happened to me. So then I think you will grab something out of it. So when I started my IT degree, after the first year, I wanted to get into the a company.
I think you started working while you were studying, right? If I'm correct.
Yes. After first year, before starting my second year, I applied to a software company. I think is it okay to name the company?
No need to name. We'll just continue with
okay.
Company X.
Company one.
Company one.
Company one. Okay. I got the opportunity as a QA engineer. I started my career as a QA engineer. But even at that point, I wanted to be a developer. But I got the opportunity as a QA engineer. So I just went through the QA engineering job roles, and I thought, okay, I will be a QA engineer for 1 year. Then I got the opportunity, and I passed all the exams in the company one, and I got the internship. And when I'm doing the internship, I learned all the things, the QA related things, and then I understood the like the other jobs. Other jobs means what the software engineer do, what the developer do, who is the project manager, what is his role, and who is a software architect. And after first 6 months, I understood all the characters in the software company. Then after the first year, I quit from company 1, and then I moved to company 2 as a developer. When I'm going as a developer, I had a basic idea of what I'm going to do, and what will others gonna do, like what is a project manager do, and I worked in company 2 nearly 1 year as a developer. Then in the 4th year, end of 4th year, I guess, I moved to company 3 as a software engineer.
So
likewise, before getting the degree, I had the experience.
So based on what you said earlier, you said before selecting the degree we need to choose the job role, but it is not actually true based on what you have just said now.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Like I didn't had the information at that time, but today it should be, because when I'm doing the degree, there's only the IT degree. There are no any like sub degree under the IT.
And like you said, you switched from one career path to another career. So was it hard, and is switching easier? So what from my experience, what I think is, like if you want to move to another related job, so especially when if you just go through job listings, you will see in order to apply for a job you need to have experience, at least 1 year experience in that role. So did you face such kinds of issues? Did you have like start over the career ladder? What's the experience on that like?
So these career switch for me, the career switch happened before even getting the degree. So
that
even
easy,
the company doesn't care.
So if we are to like
I did something else.
go after a permanent job, it will be like the previous experience will be not that much considered if we are switching. So that's
So that's what like when I'm doing my final years, I was very confident what should I do after I'm getting the degree. So I think that confidence should have every IT degree holder before they completing their degree. Even as of now, most of the students doesn't have this idea. As an example, one of my friend, after the A-levels, like he had a chat with me. He wanted to be a data security engineer. So I asked, why do you need a data security engineer? Because it's very easy to learn, like only thing we have to learn how are the hackings things. We have to learn to secure the data and
So that
hack
was
the
easier for
data,
him.
like
I think that's the hardest part to that to counter hackers.
exactly. He doesn't have a clue what he's saying. He after watching a movie, he wanted to be a hacker, and the only thing hacking is in the course content is data security engineer.
Yeah, I think
So
yeah, coming back to the first question you asked from me, so you asked me whether is still IT being the last resort is valid in 2022. So I think one of the main reason why it is becoming the last resort is also due to such fantasies. So most of the people just watch movies and they learn about Mark Zuckerberg, and they think like, yes, I also need to be an Elon Musk, and I also should take the path in this. And I think there are many like easy ways, like YouTube videos which says that you can easily develop this site in 2 days. Like, so there are some boasting sites. So I think that also motivates many people to select this industry. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. You can continue with the story.
yeah, you're correct on that. Sometimes YouTube mislead you.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You have to select which content you should follow. Exactly.
Yeah, so we also
You can.
yeah, continue. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Even there are some YouTube videos that within 2 hours you can develop the website.
Yeah.
But you have to spend 2 years to learn it.
And yeah, I also want to point out that now there are like WordPress like content management systems available, like Wix.com, Shopify, something.
Yes.
And this also allows many people to develop websites and easily host them. So any person who has a small knowledge on technology, who can operate a phone, can develop a website and host it. So I think most of them also believe that this is web development, and most of them choose this. And when they go into the course and when they start working with HTML, JavaScript, CSS and other languages such as React, Angular, then only they get to know that this is not the web development that they were expecting. So did you have any any experience on that? Any people like that?
Yeah. So have you ever developed a WordPress site?
Yeah.
For actual client?
No, not for an actual one. I just did as a pet project. Yeah.
Okay. So like when you can host a WordPress site, and you can install a few plugins, and you can create an e-commerce website within 1 hour, 1.5 hours.
Yeah, WooCommerce, they have the plugin, right? We can.
Yeah, WooCommerce plugin, exactly. That's the most famous e-commerce plugin everybody use. But when it's come to actual requirement, I mean, when you are doing it for an actual client, there are ton of development work you have to do within that plugin and the website. Normally, I'll tell my experience. If you are doing a e-commerce website for actual client, to finalize everything and host and to publish the website, it will take more than 1.5 months to complete the website and do the changes, config everything, config the shipments, change the layouts. Like, there are ton of work behind
the scenes.
Simplicity.
So yeah, I also had a friend who worked in a company which who did his internship in a company which developed mainly WordPress sites. So when he said that he's mainly working with WordPress, what I thought is just he's dragging and dropping things and I did libraries. Then when I got to talk to him, he mentioned that they need to work on writing custom PHP plugins, and it's a huge hassle, not what is advertised. So yeah,
Yes,
I
yes.
think when we are working with clients, we have to however deliver what they want. So because of that, that
Hmm.
increases the complexity.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I think again we went off the topic a little bit.
So that's the problem in the IT industry. There are a lot of things to talk, and we can't be on a single line.
Yeah.
There are a lot of branches here and there.
So based on my experience and also your experience, so anyone who is coming to the IT industry doesn't have any clear, so 100 like 50% of the time will not have a clear idea, right? So are you agreeing to that? I think uh,
Yes,
yeah.
actually they doesn't want to.
Mhm.
I strongly advise people, if like people means the students
Yeah.
after A levels, even after A levels, if they are willing to go to a SLIT or IIT, or if they are doing IT industry, just just talk to someone who, no, who, with some experience in IT industry.
Mhm.
Like talk to the seniors, like talk to the like adult who are working several years in the industry, then you will get a good idea.
Mhm.
So I will tell you a story. The same student I
Story time.
talked little while ago. Yeah, story time. so so now first of all, his option was to do a data security engineer, to be a data security engineer.
Mhm.
When I explained the things behind what you need to learn and the job opportunities in Sri Lanka and blah blah blah, I told him several, and I gave him some information on that.
Mhm.
And then uh, he switched to being a software engineer,
Mhm.
because uh, there are tons of job opportunities for a software engineer.
Mhm.
I was little bit okay, and uh, he select let's say SLIT
Mhm.
to do the degree.
Mhm.
Now after 1 week, then he wanted to be a data engineer in IIT.
Uh-huh.
uh, then I asked, what happened, why sudden changes on your decision, what is the reason
Mhm.
here? uh, his mother's elder brother,
Uh-huh.
I think he called him as Bappa or someone else, has told him that the data engineering degree or some related to data engineering course in IIT is the best option that
Uh-huh.
in Sri Lanka. So I asked, your Bappa is a data engineer or expert in data engineering? Oh, no, no, no. He's a government employee who works in some department.
Uh-huh.
Then why did he tell you that? Because his son doing it, and he said that's the best option, and this bloody student is following the same thing. So that's how some mindset is working. So I don't think it's suitable for the IT industry at all.
Yeah, talking about that, something that came to my mind is now there are the degree that I did is little bit generalized, like my degree is software engineering. So and there are like specialized degrees. There are like cybersecurity degrees and data science degrees, big data analytics degrees. So earlier we only I think had master level such specialized degrees, but now in the undergrad level also there are specific branches, so degrees for each branch. So, what based on your idea, what are you suggesting a new student to pick up such a narrow stream or to go to a more broad stream? So, like a person who is doing a software engineering degree can do his or her internship in a data science related environment and graduate as a software engineer, but also build up his career as a data engineer. So a person who is doing the software engineering degree has many options to choose. So that's my belief. So what you would suggest? Are you suggesting to pick go to the specific stream that he or she may like, and based on what you said earlier, the person might change his or her mind and then later on will have to switch the career. So do you have anything to add to that? What do you suggest?
It's Sumudhu, like it's totally depend on the interest that you have. Now, as you said, now software engineer, like doing a software engineering degree and you can become a data engineer. And I don't think even in Sri Lanka, when you are doing a data engineer degree and if you are applying for a software engineer, and that also possible thing, like that if you are showing a good skill set in the interview, there is a slight possibility that
from the like CV shortlisting level before the screening.
Yes, exactly. Yes, there's a slight possibility to drop your CV when it's shortlisted. Yeah, that's true. But if I mean it's like this. If you don't have a clear idea about the IT industry, the best option is software engineering. You can because the software engineering degree covers most of it.
Yeah. It's like a Swiss,
if you have
Swiss
a
Army
clear
knife
path in your head, yes, exactly. if you have a clear path, you are doing this and you are doing this for masters and you are going abroad and something like that. If you have a clear path, you can select a more narrow down way that would be easy. But if you don't have a clear idea on what you are doing and even you don't know what you are going to do after getting the degree, whether you are doing the masters or you are going to the academic path or you are doing to the software development, so definitely the best option is software engineering.
So basically, like if you born with the main ambition to be a data engineer, then it's better to select the data science stream related degree. If not, it's safe to do a software engineering degree, so you can explore the options basically. So
but I'm always saying to the newcomers is don't follow if someone says so. Like do a small research and talk to lot of people and gather information and then decide. I think now these days the young generation is
I think that includes me also. I am also still young.
But you are already in the IT industry. But I say after A level that child's. Let's move on.
I something just popped in my mind. So the question that I am getting from my relatives is, do you need an IT related degree to work in this industry? So can you just show the skills and show the portfolio, the work that you did, and can you just present the interview board that and get a degree, not a degree, get a job? So so what I think is doing a degree will help us to get the overall picture and get a good understanding on the concept. So most of the tutorials that is shown in YouTube or even in many online learning platforms doesn't mainly cover all the concepts, overall concepts. So having that degree is vital to survive in the IT industry, but I'm not sure whether there are any opportunities to people by just looking at their portfolio. So do you have any experience on that? A person without a degree surviving in the industry?
Yes, I work under architect that who doesn't have a degree. He completes his degree for the sake of uh, he wanted to do masters in some I think artificial intelligence masters. He was very interested in doing that masters. For the sake of doing the masters, he completes a degree. And he completes a degree like he was an architect at that time, so he went up in that ladder without having a degree. So it's like this, Sumudu. So actually, if you are planning, if you are willing to apply a job in a company, so degree is like a tie. Its degree is something that people makes an impression. But the skill set, yeah, you said correct. Like you will have the overall idea of what's you are experiencing in the future, and there are some areas that you experience like very small portion of information is there in the degree, but without the degree, I think a person can grow in the IT industry, but to show off in the interviews, you should have one.
Like adding on to that, so again asking a question from you, since you have interviewed a lot of people as well. So if two CVs come in and one person has a degree and one person don't have any degree and only has haven't also worked in any software related companies, and he's just starting up, but he has done few pet projects and has done few freelancing work. So for example, so in order to tally those two, we say he has done few freelancing work. So during the shortlisting, what will happen? Which CV will, so only one of them can be selected in. So what will be dropped and what based on what is. So you said without a degree we can survive, but in shortlisting such CVs,
So
will you be able to survive?
yes, I like some people will disagree what I'm saying right now. When I am doing the shortlisting, I am directly looking at the projects and the experience, not the degree or the class. So that is the actually degree and the class is my third noticeable point. The first thing is first one is the projects and the experience. The second one is the A-level stream and the university.
Yeah, if that A-level stream and the university.
University, not the degree or the class.
So so based on what you are suggesting, the A-level stream and the university that the person selects has an impact on how he performs in the industry. You believe that?
Yes. It's a long story that we should bring in a different episode. How the A-level stream and the university comes into that classification. It's a totally different topic that we need to discuss.
So based on your experience, a person can survive without a degree, but as earlier you mentioned that there's a huge competition in this industry now. There are a lot of degrees that are offered, and many graduates coming out from these universities. So in such environment, can a person survive without a degree?
Before answering to that question, Sumudu, I'll tell you a true story. So in my company 4, I believe, as I remember, when I'm doing an interview, one of the fresh graduate came into the room, and like I asked few questions and she answered. In the same session, I told her that there is some gap between on our requirements, and I said directly that she is not up to the standard. Uh, before leaving the room, she asked me uh, if she can get a chance to bring her younger brother to the same interview.
Her younger
Yes,
brother.
her younger brother. So I asked a little bit about his younger brother. Who is he? What is he doing? At which university he is studying? Blah blah blah. So what she said was, my younger brother is just finished his O levels, and he started IT course in ESOFT, I guess. It's not a degree. It's just a IT course, and everything that I ask from her, he will definitely answer. So, is it possible to give him a chance? So I was a little bit confused at that moment. I asked, do you have the CV? No, I don't have the CV of my younger brother, but within the day I will send you the CV. Is it possible to schedule an interview?
So this younger brother is just out
O
of
levels.
order.
Yes, O levels.
Okay.
So I told, okay, I will try my best. Just send me the CV, and I gave her the email address also. And in the evening, she sent me the CV, and I was personally interested that I forced HR to schedule the interview. And the interview is scheduled, and he came. Like he's a very little person. Like after the O levels, the first question I asked from him, why don't you try to start the A levels? His direct answer was like, I don't want to learn any of the subjects.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, like even though I had the same problem when I'm doing the A levels, but I didn't had that confidence not to do A levels. But I was impressed at that time. He directly said he doesn't want to do the A levels, and he want to get into the IT and develop softwares. I asked normal fresh I interviewed him as a fresh graduate. All the technical questions I normally ask, DB related questions, object oriented concepts, like normal technical questions. Even I asked him to draw ERs, write pseudocodes. He did everything. I don't know how he learned after the O levels. Like he even
So,
at that point.
He even drew ER diagrams
Yes.
also.
Even at that point, Sumudu, he has done one project to a client as well. Can you believe that? when he's doing all this?
Yeah, the point that I made in earlier related to the difference between degrees and just following courses was that we don't know about these ERs and stuff, but it seems like there are people who
Yes.
get that knowledge without even without even looking at a degree.
He doesn't know now. When I
How is that
say
possible?
him to draw ER, what he did for that actual client, he doesn't know what is an ER. He doesn't know what that drawing is called the ER diagram. But when I explain, I want to know the entity, the tables that you have designed, and I want to know the attributes that you used to save the data. That then he understood what I asked, and he drew the diagram. then he explained me the one-to-one, one-to-many relationships. This is how I handled many-to-many. Likewise.
Like the normalization concepts and all.
Yeah. So since that he doesn't face any exams on software engineering software engineering degree, he doesn't know exact terms and exact wordings that we usually use, but he has the idea and the knowledge. So I select him as an intern in the company.
At any point of this, were you able to ask him how he learned all
Yes,
this?
yes.
How he got to know?
Yes, yes.
Is it from her elder sister? Because she was she was doing degree, right?
The fun fact is, Sumudhu, actually elder sister learned from him to do all the assignments and to do all the
from that knowledge he gained the
exactly
concepts.
Yes.
So from that we can say that degree is not important because he got the basic from the degree after all.
Yeah, you can argue that. But
so this story proves that simply grade doesn't matter.
Yes, exactly.
It's the raw skill and the ambition, and also, as we mentioned earlier, the consistency now and the passion. Yeah, the passion plays a lot in this industry, I think.
After actually the problem was he wanted to do his degree from his own earned money. So when he started earning, he started doing the degree as well. And I think 2000 he has completed his degree. And
2000?
Yeah, I think in 2000, as I remember. So
in 2000?
Oh, sorry, 2020. sorry.
That's what I was like.
2020.
I know that you have like around 10 to 12 years experience, but I didn't know that you had 20. And in 2000 you were interviewing.
Sorry.
For him to complete the degree at 2000, he should at least start at 1998 or 1997 or something. So you should be like interviewing people at 1995. That's why I asked it like 3 times.
You know my condition after the injection, COVID injection.
Yeah, so we'll continue on the story.
Yeah.
So did he major at software engineering,
Yes.
or he chose another part?
Software engineering, and now he's looking forward to do a master's as well. And currently, can you guess what he's doing now currently?
Are you asking the position he's working currently, or?
Yes, like
he for sure I think working in the IT industry. I think he might be. So when did you interview him? And gave the intern position?
I think 2018 or something. No, not 18.
I think now
16.
he might be a senior software engineer or an associate tech lead.
Yes. He could
associate
be,
tech lead,
but he worked in a USA based company. I think
so. They are grading his position is different.
So 1 year back he quit his job and he started his own company. Now he has his own company, and he has a couple of clients from different countries. And don't say this to anybody. I also doing some projects with him. He has a couple of local clients as well, and overseas clients. And he's doing projects on various areas like WordPress, ground top development like Java, PHP, likewise, and even after now he doesn't had any experience on WordPress. Last last year, I think he learned a lot of things about the WordPress. Now he has developed few plugins and pushed to the market as well. Likewise, it's pure talent.
And also luck.
Yes.
So if you didn't, like, if the elder sister didn't come to the interview with you, and if you didn't push the HR team to arrange that interview, he might not be in the position that he is currently today.
Yes,
So
can be. I think he always remember those things. Like even today, when I met him, he always remember me and thanking me for helping him in the worst time that he had in his life. I think he always give me the gratitude on pushing him on some point. Like yeah, it's a very I can't explain the feeling that even I am feeling right now. It's an excellent feeling that he's doing great.
yeah, for the gratitude, ask him part of his company.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. So this story shows us that degree is not that important. It's the pure talent, and also I think luck plays a major role. So, and also it's the destiny. So if you are destined to be at a certain place, you will be there. So considering all that, I think we talked about a lot of IT opportunities, and also we talked about a lot outside the scope that we planned initially. Do you have anything to add?
I think it's enough for today. So let's bring something.
Yeah,
Let's save something for the next episode.
yeah. Something that just popped in my mind when you were talking about the interview questions that you asked. So I also wanted to ask something on that. So we'll later discuss on it in the next episode. If not, this will be extended a lot, and we will not be able to stop this.
Yes. So I think there are a lot of things. So in the coming episodes, we can discuss about what kind of technologies that we should learn, and the companies, what kind of companies that we have, and
and also we can point out how to get ready for the interviews, what most companies look at when they are interviewing freshers.
Yes, exactly.
So we can mainly focus on them, and we can have an open conversation on that.
Yes.
So what we talked in this is purely based on our opinions, so I think Isuru can also agree to that. So
Yes.
the opinion can change from person to person.
Exactly.
So we are not saying that this is what it is. So there can be many opinions. So this is what me as a newbie and Isuru as a well-experienced person in this industry can have to say about.
Yes, we are not in the supreme level in Sri Lankan IT industry. We are still learning every day, and we are also surviving in the industry. So this is our personal view. Yeah. Yes. So thank you everyone. Bye.